Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Tuesday. At least it stopped raining heavily.
That's right. The weather is good for World Dairy Expo.
Yes.
We're welcoming everyone to Madison. Really, there's a reason they call it the World Dairy Expo.
It's 80 different countries represented, thousands and tens of thousands of people. And our Pam Yankee is in hog heaven, as it were. She'll be at the expo for us coming up to see what's going on with all the new trade regulations.
Right, there's some big news in the dairy world, and Donna Weihoffen is here with some wild rice recipes. The wild rice harvest is underway. She's making some sweet and savory dishes. And you know Donna, she always has dessert first.
That's right. And it's a big crop up in northern Wisconsin and Minnesota, so that's all coming up. But first, here's what's making news on this Tuesday. Wisconsin lawmakers will be returning to the Capitol to decide whether Kimberly-Clark should be given incentives to keep employees in the state.
A Rock County man is behind bars after being charged with trying to kill his girlfriend.
And the latest on what the president is saying about the FBI investigation into Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Let's
take a look outside at 4. Cloudy, a little rain this morning.
Kind of drizzly. These farm fields and right outside of the station here.
It's an autumnal-looking picture.
Yeah,
Not
really
too much
is.
color yet. But
Not yet, a little early, and I think all this rain might hamper things in terms of the color, but we'll see. The weather words today: milder than stormy. That sounds like a summer forecast, Dana, not a October forecast.
Early October already. Right now it feels like October, I can tell you guys that. It's not raining currently. We've actually enjoyed a little break in the showers for us today. Looking ahead to tomorrow, we'll stay pretty mild to start it off, but then we are going to get just a little stormy. So our Doppler track throughout Wisconsin has been pretty mellow. Right now we have some showers and storms moving through Iowa, but we're not expected to see anything for us, at least for the next several hours. We'll wait until really tomorrow. Sitting close to 56 in Madison, about 59 in Janesville, so it is just a little cool currently, but still not too bad outside compared to this time yesterday. Only a degree or two warmer for much of Dane County. Warmer air to the north, cooler air to the south for us. We're smack dab right in the middle. Wind's going to stay pretty calm for us in the single digits for the evening and then pick up a little bit as we head into tomorrow. Tomorrow quite windy for us under a very, very cloudy sky. Afternoon highs today barely climbing into the mid 50s for us. That is about 10 degrees below average. You got a little more time to enjoy today. Sunset's not until 6:37, although we're not going to see too much sun with that sunset. Tomorrow we're looking at clouds building in throughout the afternoon, much warmer as you can see. Temps are going to jump right up into the upper 70s. Southern Wisconsin could be getting into the mid to low 80s for afternoon highs tomorrow. Very different picture from what we have today. We also have an alert day in the forecast for tomorrow. We'll get into a little more about why that alert day is in effect in just a few minutes. First off, though, jump into our first alert traffic. Take a quick look at what's going on the roads right now. Overall, much of the area rolling along fairly smoothly. Even the Beltline included in that. Westbound about 64 miles an hour. Eastbound was at 55 just a few minutes ago, but starting to slow down a little bit. Heading into Verona right now, both Main Street and 151 seem to be rolling fairly smoothly. Over on the east side of town, there is an accident on I-39 North. It seems to be causing a little bit of a delay right now, even on the southbound side. Drive times from Janesville to the Beltline will take you about 27 minutes. The Beltline back to Janesville about 28. We'll cruise a little quicker. And then Sun Prairie to downtown about 15 minutes. A lot of green there. So overall, things are rolling along fairly smoothly. Again, we do have an alert day in the forecast for tomorrow, for Wednesday. We'll break down why and the timing of some potential storms in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll check back in a little bit. Thank you, Dana.
First, 4 state senators plan to return to the Capitol next month to vote on providing tax incentives to Kimberly-Clark.
Governor Walker and Senate Majority Leader Scott Fitzgerald announced the extraordinary session this morning. Rose Schmidt is live in Richland Center to explain how the governor and his opponent, Tony Evers, are feeling about this deal. Rose?
Well, Governor Walker just wrapped up a campaign event here in Richland Center just about an hour ago. Meanwhile, Tony Evers was campaigning in the Green Bay area today. Walker wants lawmakers to return to Madison next month to approve a tax incentive package that could cost up to $100 million. It's designed to keep the Kimberly-Clark plant in Fox Crossing open. The state assembly passed the bill earlier this year. Democrats told me today that the state Senate doesn't have the votes to pass it, something Walker says is not a secret. His opponent, Evers, is skeptical of the plan and says lawmakers are dragging out uncertainty for Kimberly-Clark workers.
We believe keeping these jobs will actually open the door towards millions of dollars of new investment, new jobs, and it affects almost 200 businesses elsewhere that are suppliers across the state of Wisconsin. So this is a much bigger deal than just the jobs at that one site in the Fox Cities.
So I'm very discouraged that once again we're pushing the issue down the road, and maybe at the dead of night something will be passed. That's not how we make policy in Wisconsin.
Kimberly Clark gave the state a deadline of September 30th to pass this deal, but Walker says that deadline has now been extended. Lawmakers plan to come back to the Capitol to vote on the plan a week after the November election, and Walker says he hopes Democrats will, quote, put politics aside to pass it. A spokesperson for Kimberly Clark says they won't make any decisions until after the extraordinary session. And Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says he'd be open to considering other bills when lawmakers return next month, mainly a bill designed to guarantee health insurance for people with pre-existing conditions. You'll hear from him and the Democratic leader of the Assembly, Representative Gordon Hintz, on News 3 at 5.
Rose Schmidt reporting live from Richland Center. Rose, thanks.
A Rock County man is now waiting for a court appearance after strangling and attempting to kill his girlfriend.
It happened last night on Beloit's east side. Rock County reporter Adam Duxter joins us from our bureau at the Janesville Gazette with what police are saying today. Adam?
Well, Mark and Susan, police say it was Jonathan Castro of Beloit. They say he was in his home with a woman, and that's when they say he allegedly strangled her before beating her with a hammer. Now, the good news is the woman is going to be okay. She's recovering today in a nearby hospital. Castro, on the other hand, could face up to 6 separate charges, including first-degree attempted homicide. Beloit police today encouraging those who might be in a situation of domestic violence to seek help.
Encourage anyone that's involved in any type of domestic violence to please call the police department. And if you don't call the police department, at least reach out to the resources. Our Beloit Domestic Violence Shelter is a great resource. They can help guide you, get you counseling, and get you the help that you really need.
Now, there also was a baby in the home at the time. Police told me today that baby is also safe and sound. And coming up later, we'll hear from neighbors in the area as well as domestic violence resources in Beloit.
That's coming up tonight at 6. Adam Duxter reporting live from our bureau in Janesville. Thank you.
The FBI is continuing its background investigation into sexual misconduct accusations against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh. Angelica Alvarez has the latest from Capitol Hill.
President Donald Trump says he's been in contact with Republican senators over the confirmation process for Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh as the FBI continues its background investigation into sexual misconduct accusations.
They'll have a vote by the end of the week, and it will be a positive vote, but it will be dependent on what comes back from the FBI.
The FBI has interviewed high school friends of Kavanaugh and Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, who says Kavanaugh tried to assault her when both were teens. 2 of those friends say they did not recall the gathering. Mark Judge, identified as an eyewitness by Blasey, has also completed his interview with the FBI. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the results of the investigation will not be made public.
It'll be made available to each senator, and only senators will be allowed to look at it.
Why are our Republican colleagues so afraid of making this public?
Meanwhile, both parties continue to accuse each other of dirty tactics as the investigation continues.
Our Republican colleagues are sort of pulling their hair out because they know their candidate is so flawed.
This has not been a search for the truth. This has been about search and destroy.
In a statement, Senator Lindsey Graham linked Kavanaugh's confirmation to the upcoming midterm elections and called on President Trump to renominate him if his confirmation fails this time around. Angelica Alvarez for WISC News 3.
Judge Brett Kavanaugh's classmates have come forward with contradicting statements regarding Kavanaugh's college drinking habits. One classmate says she gave the FBI messages from Kavanaugh asking her to refute accusations from mutual friend Deborah Ramirez, who said Kavanaugh drunkenly exposed himself to her at a party when they attended Yale.
Well, former First Lady and 2016 presidential candidate Hillary Clinton criticized Brett Kavanaugh's testimony before the Senate Judiciary Committee last week. Clinton questioned Kavanaugh's judicial temperament during a conversation with Jeffrey Goldberg, the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, before a crowd at the Atlantic Festival in Washington. Clinton said she found the testimony of Christine Blasey Ford to be convincing.
You have to ask yourself, why would anybody put themselves through this if they did not believe that they had important information to convey to the Senate? She basically said that. She thought it was her civic duty. So I found her presentation, I found her willingness to say, I don't remember that, but I remember this, to be very convincing. And I felt a great swell of, pride that she would be willing to put herself out there under these circumstances.
Clinton laughed at the accusation that she and her husband, former President Bill Clinton, were part of a conspiracy to sink Kavanaugh's nomination. She said she wants the FBI to conduct as thorough an investigation as they possibly can.
Diplomats from other countries who want their same-sex partners to live with them in the U.S. are facing a new hurdle from the Trump administration. Under a new policy, if they are not married, they are no longer entitled to visas. Partners already in the United States must show proof of marriage by the end of the year or leave. The U.S. mission to the United Nations cited the 2015 Supreme Court ruling legalizing same-sex marriage as the reason for the change, saying same-sex spouses of U.S. diplomats now enjoy the same rights and benefits as of opposite-sex spouses. Consequently, partners accompanying United Nations officials must be married in order to be eligible.
In some countries, it's still illegal to be gay or to be a lesbian, to really show any evidence of same-sex conduct. And a marriage certificate, even if you walked down to City Hall here in New York City, would definitely put you in that category, making you vulnerable to a reprisal or even formal government prosecution.
Critics say the policy change ignores the reality that same-sex marriage is not allowed in most of the world and could put some United Nations workers at risk. The State Department says it will work on a case-by-case basis with foreign diplomats from countries that do not recognize same-sex marriage.
Las Vegas police have reopened a sexual assault investigation involving soccer superstar Cristiano Ronaldo. The alleged victim told a German magazine that Ronaldo assaulted and raped her in 2009. In a civil lawsuit filed Thursday, Catherine Mayorga alleges Ronaldo attacked her in his Las Vegas suite after she repeatedly screamed no. Mayorga claims that after the assault, Ronaldo told her that, quote, he was sorry, he was usually a gentleman. She claims she was paid $375,000 to keep quiet. The Portuguese soccer star denied the allegations in a since-deleted Instagram video suggesting his fame and fortune make him a target.
The game times for the Milwaukee Brewers' first 3 National League Division Series games have been released. The Brewers will play Thursday at 4:07 p.m. We're going to have to put a television out here on the set.
Perhaps we'll have to watch.
And Friday at 3:15 at Miller Park. On FS1. Milwaukee will be off on Saturday, but then play either at Chicago or Denver on Sunday at 3:37 on MLBN. The Brewers will play the winner of the Colorado Rockies or the Chicago Cubs. Those 2 teams are playing tonight.
We'll have an inning-by-inning update.
Yes, we will.
So you can stay right here. And we have more to come here on Live at 4. The World Dairy Expo is in town.
That's right. Farm Director Pam Yankee is there. We'll talk to her about the big trade news this week, and she'll introduce us to a farmer from South America visiting Madison for the expo. That's when Live at 4 continues.
Well, hundreds of thousands of Amazon workers are getting a raise.
The company is pushing its minimum wage to $15 an hour, giving many employees up to $5 an hour more. Amazon Senior Vice President Dave Clark shared the reaction of workers at a fulfillment center near Los Angeles. The raise also applies to workers at Amazon-owned Whole Foods.
Well, 60 big-name retailers say they'll be closed on Thanksgiving Day so workers can spend the holiday with their families. Costco, Home Depot, Sam's Club, Nordstrom, and TJ Maxx are among the chains that will rely on online sales instead of foot traffic. Last year, 57% of people surveyed by the deals website Best Black Friday opposed stores opening on the holiday. 16% were in favor. Black Friday projected to be the biggest shopping day of the year. And it was a record-setting day on Wall Street. The Dow Industrials added 122 points, closing at 26,773 for the first time ever. However, the NASDAQ Composite Index and the S&P 500 both lost ground. Well, the World Dairy Expo is underway at the Alliant Energy Center.
A big topic of conversation this week, of course, is the new trade agreement unveiled Monday and how it might affect Wisconsin's dairy farm families. Q106 Farm Director Pam Yonke is at World Dairy Expo and joins us now with reaction. Hi, Pam.
Big week.
Hey, kid. Yeah, big week, big week. And thank goodness today the weather is making it a nice week. We'll see what the rest of the week unfolds with us. Yeah, here at World Dairy Expo, a lot of people are talking about the international trade situation. Obviously, the big discussion earlier this week about Canada adjusting its Class 7 milk price. But I want to give you a little perspective on just how many countries are literally involved in this show. I'm not talking just about the commercial exhibits, I'm talking about right here in the barn. I have met my new friend, Francisco Rodriguez. Now, he is not only a doctor of veterinary medicine, he is a perfect example of people attracted to World Dairy Expo. Now, tell us a little bit about yourself, Francisco. You're here at the show. You're also a dairy farmer, and some of these animals you've got ownership in. Tell me about that.
Yes, thank you very much. And I was born in Colombia, South America. I came to the United States around 2011. And I had the opportunity through this show. I have been in this show several times when I was in Colombia, and having the opportunity to connect with dairy farmers from the United States, from Canada, and the passion for dairy farming and dairy cows, I saw the opportunity to get into the business. And through meeting great people and great partnerships, we have been able to get into some of the best genetics around the world.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic opportunity.
You've got a dairy of your own in Colombia still.
Yeah. Together with my family, we own a 300-cow dairy down there in Colombia. And then, but you know what? We saw the opportunities for exporting from the United States. So we decided that we would like to run a branch of our dairy here in North America. So we started Colganados Genetics LLC out of here in Madison, Wisconsin.
Yeah, right.
And then that's how we do milking cows and genetics down in Colombia, Latin America. And then we do genetics in the USA and Canada.
So you are a person that pays very close attention to what happens with international trade talk.
Yes, of course, this matters to all of us, right? Because today is just one globe, and whatever happens in Africa, Asia, or Latin America affects to what happens in the US, Canada, or Australia.
Yeah.
So we are one big globe.
What's your market been like for genetics, Francisco, since all this trade talk stuff started happening, since Canada and the United States got in problems?
No, I mean, I'm focused on my work. I'm focused on my farm. I'm focused on being more efficient every single day. So I think that there are many opportunities that I still find on my farm to be better. And that's what I'm focused at.
Yeah, you know, honestly, Sue and Mark, that is something that you have to understand. They read the headlines, dairy farmers read the headlines, but they've got cows to take care of. They've got animals to maintain. They're not going to see a trade policy make a big difference in their day-to-day. So you just keep taking care of the animals and, like you said, get more efficient, eh, Francisco?
I just think that this is a very volatile business that goes up and down. And the best way to really get through this in the long term being sustainable is by being more efficient. So taking better care of my animals, making sure I can produce more milk with less, taking care of my employees, and doing the best I can with the lowest input and adding the best value I can. And genetics is a fantastic way to add value to my business.
Yeah. Like I said, I think he's a perfect example of the kind of people you're seeing here at World Dairy Expo, Sue and Mark. Colombian dairy farmer that's also got interest in the cattle here in the United States and Canada. Plus, he's also visiting with dairy farmers all around North America about robotics. So it is about efficiency. Like he said, can't change trade policy. All you can do is change your own little world, whether it's a dairy in Colombia, your show string in Madison, Wisconsin, your show string in Canada. But he keeps coming back, and I think a lot of these folks will, regardless of what happens in Washington, D.C.
It really is a World Dairy Expo, isn't it?
Yes, people need to come out here and experience how big a world show it is. We'll have probably 3,000 world attendees from probably 80 different countries. So you're going to get 80 different opinions on what's going on with trade policy. And like I said, I'm happy that Francisco could give us a little perspective on that.
Very interesting.
It is indeed, Pam. Thank you, and thank Francisco for us.
Yes, welcome back to Madison, Francisco. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right.
You bet, guys.
All right, Pam, thanks.
Have a great week. Have a fun week. We'll continue our international theme a little later on in this program.
We'll head to London, where there is an unusual twist on a very traditional dish. That's coming up after Dana's forecast.
Take a look at this. It's official. Surfer Maya Gabriela of Brazil set a new world record. She rode the 68-foot wave from trough to crest off the coast of Portugal. It earned her the Guinness World Record title for the largest wave surfed by a female. It also earned her the inaugural Women's XXL Biggest Wave Award. Maya made the accomplishment at the same breakpoint where she suffered a serious injury back in 2013. That doesn't even look real.
That is so cool.
Look at the shadow.
Oh, that is absolutely incredible. It's terrifying, but amazing. absolutely amazing.
And they pull her out there with like a wave runner.
Yeah.
So she can get out far enough.
That far to hit that big of a wave. All right, it is October 2nd. It is National Custodial Workers Recognition Day. They keep this country nice and clean and well maintained. I appreciate it.
Yes,
we love ours here.
Yes, we do.
We have wonderful people who work here. It's also Guardian Angel Day.
Plus, it's National Name Your Car Day. 25% of the people in the country name their cars. The most popular name is Baby.
Yeah, that's what I was going to guess.
Really?
There's Herbie from the Love Bug.
Right, generally.
Yeah.
Now, you've had some amazing cars in your life, but you never named them,
No, I
right?
haven't. No, I had some lemons, too, that had some certain names.
Some sour cars.
We're not repeating.
No.
So name your car. You don't name your car?
I don't name my car.
No, I don't
just
either.
Call it by whatever it is. Oh, the Fusion's out there, the Galant's out there.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Needs an oil change, whatever it is.
Right.
Maybe tomorrow you could actually have the top down. It's going to be warm tomorrow, right?
It's going to be warm, but unfortunately we are looking at some storm chances, so you may be able to have the top down for a little bit, but keep an eye to the sky. We have an alert day in the forecast for Wednesday. We'll take a closer look right after the break. We have dramatic video right now. This is out of Phoenix. The scene early this morning as firefighters rescued drivers and passengers from stranded vehicles all over the city. This, at the time, Tropical Depression Rosa. Now the remnants of Rosa just spreading heavy rainfall all over the area throughout today, even into this evening. Millions of Arizonians are under a flash flood watch right now. Rosa still expected to drench Phoenix with anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rainfall. Now it broke a 3-decade-old record for daily rainfall. They picked up over 2 inches of rain. That was as of about 11 o'clock this morning, and they've still picked up a little more since then. That record was set back in 1981, so just shattered. It was the 10th wettest day in history for the city of Phoenix. Now, the National Weather Service says in just 2 days, Phoenix Sky Harbor is already sitting at the 7th wettest October on record, a similar scene to what We've had here over the last few months several record-breaking rainfalls for us, just breaking a record yesterday, actually, for our daily total. Rosa now considered just the remnants of Rosa as it continues to move northeast at about 8 miles per hour, again, bringing a lot of moisture throughout the southwest side of the country. They're expected to continue to see rainfall. Our rainfall that we're talking about heading into Wednesday is not part of Rosa, but it is going to push moisture towards us heading towards the end of the week and even into this weekend. Looking over the last several hours, we've actually had a little break in the showers finally, a little cloudy outside, but not seeing any rainfall for us right now in Wisconsin. A little rain moving along the edge of Iowa. We may see just a few isolated showers later this evening, but no major rain events expected for us tonight. We'll hold off until tomorrow. Temperature-wise, we're close to about 56 in Madison, a little closer to 59 in Rockford. Warmer air to the south, cooler air to the north, as we do have a front still stalled across Illinois for us. That front is holding steady through the rest of the evening, but we are going to watch a little more rainfall be pushed into the area heading into tomorrow. So we stay cloudy overnight. Our temperatures only going to cool down just a few more degrees, and then we warm up quite a bit on Wednesday. Isolated showers possible overnight. Wednesday, we're actually expecting to see a little sun in the afternoon. That's going to help our temps climb in the mid to upper 70s for much of central Wisconsin. The further south you go towards Janesville, maybe in the 80s, mid to low 80s by tomorrow afternoon. Later in the evening on Wednesday, we are expecting a pretty strong line of storms to slide on through. A lot of rain expected, some stronger wind gusts as well, and then heavy rainfall just pounding late in the evening on Wednesday and into very, very early Thursday morning. Those showers continue east, and we finally get a nice sunny day on Thursday, starting off chilly. And we'll see that sunshine throughout much of the day for Thursday. No severe potential for us this evening. However, tomorrow, as that line slides through late in the evening, we have an enhanced risk for severe weather for central and northern Wisconsin. The slight risk extending all the way through much of southern Wisconsin. And the threat there again for very heavy rainfall, some stronger wind gusts, and we're not going to rule out the chance for an isolated tornado, especially with all that warmer air in place. So because of this, we do have an alert day for Wednesday, especially Wednesday night, as those severe thunderstorms could be sliding through later on in the evening. Right now, we're just looking at a cloudy sky for us. No rainfall to talk about. That's always good news. Highs today in the mid-50s. Again, for our average highs, where we should be sitting in the mid-60s. So it is a little cooler, even though we're already in the beginning of October. We should be in the mid-60s for afternoon highs. 66 currently, so right where our temperatures have been for the last 3 hours. Not moving around too much. Overnight, we're really not going to move around. Looking at the next 12 hours, we stay pretty steady, mid to low 50s, and then we start to climb a little bit into tomorrow morning. And then we are expecting our afternoon highs to be much higher once we get a little bit of sunshine. So our actual overnight lows will be just before midnight for us. Looking at about 53, mostly cloudy. May see an isolated shower. Tomorrow is when we're really expecting that stronger storm coverage to move on through in the evening. So later on in the day, afternoon highs will be close to 80. A little milder as far as not being too chilly, but still very windy and very stormy for us. So that's why we do have that alert day in for Wednesday. So keep that in mind. Our shower chances come in late in the day on Thursday. Otherwise, we're really expecting to enjoy a lovely afternoon, some sunshine and drier weather for us on Thursday. And then the showers return Thursday night into Friday. Friday, we're breezy with some isolated storms. Heading into the weekend, we're in the mid to low 60s still, so slightly below average. And then we start to warm up a little bit to start off next week. But that's when that moisture from Rosa starts to come in and hang out with us for a little bit. So we're going to stay in a pattern of seeing just continual moisture for the next several days. We're already over what we should see for the year by about 15 inches of rainfall. Oh, wow. So even though we're early on in October right now, we're at a point where we can kind of chillax a little bit with the rain.
It doesn't look like it's going to happen, though.
No, not at all. And again, tomorrow, it's really later on in the evening. In the afternoon, it's just going to be very warm and a little muggy for us even.
Taste of summer.
Yes. A flashback.
The furnace on, turn the air back on.
Yeah, same with me. I turned the furnace on, too.
Yes, not necessary for tomorrow.
All right, Dana, thank you.
Thanks, Dana.
Well, a few things are considered more British than fish and chips.
But one shop is putting an unusual twist on the traditional dish. Tina Krause reports from London.
Brits love their fish and chips, but at this chip shop in trendy East London, there's one catch.
There's no fish in here. In fact, there's no animal products at all. There's no egg in our mayonnaise. There's no fish in our fish.
It's the latest vegan venture to captivate customers in the British capital.
Well, it's quite weird actually because it looks like meat.
But it's really battered banana blossom marinated in seaweed and the sea plant samphire to give it a fishy taste.
It doesn't necessarily taste like fish, but it does taste really good.
It's really delicious and it tastes more nutritional than a normal fish and chips. I think it's a really good alternative.
While ditching animal products is not for everyone.
So when you say vegan fish and chips, it makes me think the fish bit.
Owner Daniel Sutton knows there's increasing demand for vegan and alternative restaurants.
It's tough out there on the high street. People want vegan fish and chips. I'll supply it.
And he hopes customers will get hooked. Tina Krause, WISC News 3.
Also on the menu there, vegan prawns that are made from Japanese potato starch.
Yeah, they're battered and served as scampi.
It's the batter that's so good. You know, that would be interesting in Madison because there's a large vegan community here. And I always think that have you ever tried some vegan foods?
Oh, I've tried some, yeah.
Some of them are amazing how much they taste like the real thing.
I'm not sure the Friday fish fry is going to be the same.
No, well, it's the batter. As long as the batter is good. It's interesting idea.
It is, though. Well, does your car have a musty smell that just won't go away?
When we come back, Consumer Reports has some tips on getting that stink out of your named car.
Baby.
That's when Live at 4 continues. To my boy, there's the UW men's crew team at practice.
Matthew's on the team.
He's on the team. He's in one of those boats. That's a great shot. It was a nice zoom in there on Lake Mendota.
Good night for it.
Oh, okay, we can't stick with the shot.
No, we had stinky cars.
Yeah, we do. Does your car smell musty or funky or just plain bad no matter how many times you take it to the car wash?
Or how many air fresheners you have, too. Well, you're not alone. Leah Lynchide and the experts at Consumer Reports reveal some easy ways to root out those pesky smells.
The dog, the kids, maybe even the compost often mean a trip to the car wash.
You know how milk tends to fester on and on?
You don't want to give that impression that you're not a very clean person.
But sometimes that's just not enough to get rid of unpleasant smells once and for all.
It can be really tough to figure out why a car smells so bad. There are lots of vents and crevices in a car where odors can hide and thrive.
The first thing I look at when a customer comes with a smelly car is look into the cabin filter.
One obvious place to look and smell are the dashboard vents. If that area is the problem, see if there's debris like leaves in the cabin filter. Clear it out, and if that works, great. If not, installing a new cabin filter can really help. They're not very expensive, and you can probably do it yourself.
You can also try spraying a professional-grade vent and duct cleaner to get rid of any fungi that may have taken a foothold in a vent.
Moisture in and under carpet mats can also cause odor problems. Carpet cleaners can help, but for tougher smells, you may need to get professional steam cleaning. And don't forget the sunroof. There are small drainage holes on the sides, which sometimes get clogged, allowing water to seep into the roof's liner or even drip onto the seats. A quick vacuum of that area can solve the problem. For WISC News 3, this is Leah Lynchide.
And if none of these fixes work, you may need to have your mechanic check for more serious problems with the climate system. That can be frustrating.
That can be very frustrating. It's good advice, though. Coming up, Donna Whitehoffen. It's her wild side.
Her wild rice side, that is. Donna has some great recipes using wild rice when Live at 4 continues.
Driving home on a Tuesday, things are looking okay through most of Dane County. The Beltline's starting to slow down just a little bit. Thankfully not as slow as what we saw yesterday with the rainfall. Right now we're still dry. Eastbound's at about 30 miles per hour. Westbound closer to 61 miles per hour. So if you could travel west, that's what I would recommend. Down near Verona, southbound on I-20 or 151. There's the numbers. Heading about 20 miles per hour. And then as you're traveling on Main Street, a little bit of a slowdown there south of Verona. We do still have that incident on 39 North. Right now it sounds like the shoulder is just delayed, but things are still going to be cleared up, not causing too much delays for us, but the shoulder blocked right now on 39 North. We'll keep a close eye on traffic and weather. Hopefully nothing else pops up. But right now we're going to send it back over to Mark and Susan.
All right, hopefully. Thank you, Dana. This is a scene at a cafe in a town north of Paris. Customers scrambled for safety as a young horse, which escaped her racing stable, pranced through the premises, kicking her hind legs in the air. She then makes a U-turn.
Oh, no.
Still bucking her legs in the air as she leaves the premises. Fortunately, no one was injured. That will wake you up.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Donna's house. Speaking of which, it is harvest season here in Wisconsin.
Wild rice grows in northern and central Wisconsin. It's plentiful now, and it's very good for you. Nutritionist Donna Weihoffen is here with some wild rice recipes.
Right.
Hi, Donna. And wild rice has a fascinating story.
Well, it's not a rice, it's a grass. And it grows in the riverbanks and in marshy areas, and you harvest it by hand. You're in a canoe, and you have to use paddles and go like this with the grass, and the seed falls into your boat. And the boat can't have a motor on it.
It's highly regulated, too.
You have to have a license to do it in Wisconsin. And and it truly is wild. It is not growing.
And this is it?
And this is it. And I bought it in Superior, Wisconsin, my last trip up to the cottage. It's really prominent in Minnesota and Wisconsin.
How do you cook it?
This is a good secret. I want to tell you about this. Set your oven at 500 degrees, okay, and to preheat, okay. Then you're going to take a cup of rice and wash it in a strainer and put it in a pan and boil 3 times that amount of water, like 3 cups of water or chicken broth. Put it on, cover your pan, and put it in the oven at 500 degrees. Turn it off and go to bed. And it will be perfect in the morning. Perfect, perfect.
But keep the phone nearby in case you have to call authorities.
No, the oven's turned off. And it cooks absolutely perfect. It doesn't break, and it's just wonderful. You have to remind yourself in the morning that it's in the oven.
Right.
All right, so that's how you make it. Now, how do you eat it?
Well, I have a bunch of recipes. This is a chicken casserole recipe, and it has zucchini and peppers in it, and it has the lemon sauce. So I think the lemon complements the wild rice and the chicken and the vegetables. And so it's very tasty. And
very autumnal.
Yes, very. Now this one I really love. It's the bread. And now why would you put wild rice in bread? Well, wild rice is has extra nutrition. It's high in protein. It's a whole grain. So it's just another way of getting some whole grains in. And it has cranberries in it.
This is really good.
And I soaked my cranberries in brandy.
There you go.
This is a Wisconsin bread.
Soaked in brandy and cranberries.
And cranberries. It's a total Wisconsin theme today.
It's delicious.
It's great. So.
And then this is acorn squash. So this is acorn squash season. Cut it. I actually, baked it, cut it in half, scooped out the seeds. And this has wild rice and the cranberries. But these cranberries are flavored with maple syrup. So it's a maple syrup and cranberries and wild rice and onions and a little bit of Italian seasoning.
Do you cook your wild rice in water or chicken broth?
Chicken broth.
Okay,
always.
gives it a little bit more flavor.
Otherwise it's kind of bland. So I always do that.
And some soup?
And the soup. Oh, that's the wild rice soup. That's very traditional in Minnesota. It actually started in Minneapolis at a grocery store called Byerly's. Mine is a little bit different. I put corn in it, so it's even more Wisconsin-y. And it has a little bit of taste. You know what it is? It's sherry. So sherry wine in there gives it just a wonderful flavor with a little bit of nutmeg and a little bit of white pepper.
Oh, so that's delicious for fall.
Just absolutely seasoned perfectly.
So the trick is making it correctly.
And you know what? What you do is you can just put it in a plastic bag or a bowl and keep it in your refrigerator so that you can make more recipes, at different days. So you don't have to.
So make extra.
Yeah, make extra.
And you can buy it around here.
You buy it in the grocery store, yes. But it's really fun to go to the real patties.
Yes, the authentic.
This is really good. All these recipes online as usual, channel3000.com. Donna, thank you.
Thank you, Donna.
It's a good story.
Interesting stuff. All right, thanks. We'll be right back with the final check of your forecast. All right, a little dry for a while.
For a little bit longer. So right now it's cool and dry, but we do have the chance for some stronger thunderstorms to come through tomorrow in the evening. Notice throughout the day, we're going to see a little bit of sunshine. It's going to help us warm up quite a bit into the upper 70s for afternoon highs tomorrow. Southern Wisconsin, that Illinois border close to Janesville, could be getting into the mid to low 80s for afternoon highs. So it is going to be mild, summery, yes, early September rather than early October kind of day for us tomorrow. But we do have an alert day in the forecast because of the storm potential later on in the evening.
All right, Dana, thank you. We'll be right back.
In today's Final Touch, there are dream cars and then there are dream cars.
Ferrari isn't pulling any punches at the Paris Motor Show. The company unveiled its new Monza SP1 and SP2, two super powerful open-top road cars